or some financial institution, and you take out a loan, which you're expected to pay back. Whatever the financing rate is on that, you're going, they can hit you with some interest, and then eventually you're going to pay that back. They hope, or we hope you pay it back. But that's debt based, and again, just a lot of times, based on how we were raised, how your parents and family members and friends, have financed, various, things that they've done, whether it be starting a business or buying a home or buying a car. Again, you do what you're taught. You do what you've seen done. But I think here in 2023, it's important to look at what are the other options that are out there. A lot of times in the startup world, people are encouraged to explore equity financing. Okay, so what that is instead of you taking a loan, you're going you talk to investors. Okay, you might hear the term venture capitalists a lot. When you speak of startups. So an investor, basically they're going to talk to you, work with you. You are going to pitch your idea, pitch your business plan to them, get them to buy in, so that they want to make a financial investment in what you're doing. It's one of the pros to that is that investment you're not expected to pay back, so it's not like a loan. I guess and obviously there's pros and cons to all of these. I'm not advising one way or the other. Basically you need to decide as an individual which way works best for you. But a pro of an equity financing is that it's not like a loan, you don't pay it back. One of the downsides of that is it's not as fast. Okay, you can go to a bank or a CDFI, apply for a loan. You may get that pretty quickly. There's a standard amount of time that's going to take you to get that money. But through equity, you may have to go on a tour and pitch this idea time and time again until you get someone to like your idea enough that they want to make the investment. I think one of the pluses of the equity financing is that if an individual or group is going to give you money, that means that they like your idea. You've won them over. They're investing dollars into your venture. So they got some skin in the game as well. But their investment, even though you're not expected to pay it back, what you have to be conscious of is that if your business, if it blows up, if you become very successful, there's an equity stake, that group now has in your business. So if you're thinking, long term, down the road, the financial gains that you may be able to get, from this new business idea that you've created and you put your blood, sweat, and tears into, someone else owns, some of that. So you just need to be, prepared that, if you do take an equity, financing route, that, that's part of the game when it comes to that. Other kind of creative ways, I think again, the institution of technology now, there's crowdsourcing, crowdfunding. So a lot of us are familiar with GoFundMe. But there's other websites like Kickstarter. Many people have used various crowdfunding sites to help them gain help them raise capital. And also what that does is it helps to market and promote your business. You get it out there, you get it online. You can share it. Not just with people here in this area, but it's on the web. So it can be shared anywhere. A person a couple states away could see that link. Read about what your business is. They may see something in your idea that they want to be supportive of it. And that's the whole idea around the crowdsourcing. Is basically you're creating a community of people that like what you're doing. They see some future in it. They want to invest. We talk about a lot of times in startups bootstrapping. Obviously that's you're investing money of your own. Figuring out how to make it go. How to make it shake. Talk about crowdfunding, bootstrapping, friends and family round. A lot of times you hear about the friends and family round. Unfortunately, a lot of times in our communities, that friends and family round maybe doesn't exist. People maybe not are able to help kind of fund your dream. So that's why we talk about the equity position. You can find someone in this area. Ben Franklin Technology Partners, is a group that does equity financing. Yeah, in York, there's a group called White Rose Ventures. They're a small venture fund that's growing. They've made some local investments. So again, just I think being in rooms like this, having conversations like this, just being aware of what some of the different resources are, I think is very important. Because if you have a dream or have an idea, I mean, you deserve to have that dream get off the ground. You deserve a fair opportunity to pursue that.
All right, so we off on this one? Okay, there we go. So to piggyback off what Jamal was saying, for instance, like Kickstarter. Kickstarter is probably one of the biggest funding tools you can use as far as getting something out there. One thing that anybody should know is when you look on Kickstarter, and this is one thing that you all should take precedence for yourself if you are honestly serious about doing something with your business. It can be with tech, it can be within. All right, that one's better. This could be with tech, this could be with any kind of entrepreneurship that you want to go through or actually trying to get started. You have to look at the branding. That's if you care about yourself, you care about your brand is the most important thing that you have when you're trying to start a business. That's what's going to sell you. That's what's going to give you that money. If you're looking to actually try to pitch something to someone, you have to show somebody that you care about what you're doing, what your product, and about your business and about yourself. That's the most important thing. The second part of that is you got to have a plan. If you have a business right now, you just started the business, you use your own funding and so forth, the thing is you have to have a business plan because we have to see what you're doing in writing. That person has to see what you're doing in writing because that right here shows you that you are basically taking control of what you're doing, and it shows that you actually care about your business. That's the most important thing because somebody could be, for instance, if you send somebody something and you want to get some money, you send somebody a long paragraph of things, you're asking for an X amount of dollars to start this, X, Y, and Z. So again, if I'm not a lender, or if I am a lender, or if I'm somebody that you have an angel investor and so forth, and I contact you, and I like your idea, and I want to know what, I could probably help you out. So the next thing I'm going to ask you is, do you have a business plan? Oh, I'm working on it. You don't take yourself serious. So if you're going to go out and ask for funding for anybody, whether it be for an entity, or you're looking for resources for somebody to help you or somebody to invest in you, you have to invest in yourself first. That's the most important thing, because again, it's your business. They don't become your business partner until you become your own business partner. That's the most important thing. If you don't care about your business, who else is going to? So, I'm not going to keep speaking long-winded, but that's one thing I wanted to put out there.
Yeah, I don't think. And I think this is one of the, and this is how, just tying it back to why we're here again, the state of Black Pennsylvania, this report that was done, we're talking about most businesses that start with either capital that they save, start with capital from their family and friends, or with credit. Those are the three main ways across the board that people start a business. But Black people, Black communities, when we're overrepresented in jails and through incarceration, yes, dramatically, the nation is incarcerating less people. Great, that's awesome. However, African Americans are still making up 44% of the incarcerated population, when we're only 12 or 14% of the population as a whole. So things that impact us differently, right? When they talk about bootstrapping your business. But April, special capital, special funds. I heard something about what did Ryan call it? WAM money, walking around money.
We definitely got some walking around money. Yeah, the General Assembly has what we call our little rainy day fund. And that is a space and opportunity for businesses, particularly, I like to say, where it's time for us to then get what we need for our business and for our communities. And so we go after those funds, that rainy day fund, and that is what I'm bringing to you guys. I also I have a $10,000 grant. If anyone has a mercantile license in Harrisburg, come see me after this, and we can talk about that. And then there's also funding with DCED. I don't know if you guys are aware, but even in education and mental health, they are throwing millions of dollars into these spaces. So even if you have a business that we can curtail, and trust me, in every business, you can curtail it to education, where you are educating, empowering, and equipping your community with something, and I guarantee you there will be some space for you to collect some dollars. So that's a space where even the Black Caucus helps. We are also doing a small business lobbying day in the Capitol, and that'll be in September. We are partnering with the Department of State, with the DBSMO, that is the Small Business Office, and we will be hosting spaces, symposiums, and panel discussions where you're going to learn from DCED themselves how to go through and fill out the grant information, how to fill out the application for your name to be registered with the Department of State. So even in those spaces, it's really the how-to. People want to know, how do you do that? How did you get there? And don't just tell me, oh, just go to this website. You know, they really need the mentorship. And that's one of the things that I know that the Department of State, that one-stop shop that we were talking about earlier, that is one of the things, that's the area that they're looking to focus in more on, is the accountability piece and that mentoring piece. So make sure you guys check that out.
I just like to speak to the importance of spaces like this one. You know what I mean? Like, I like to think of myself as like a hustler, like naturally. You know what I mean? So when I got into business, talk about bootstrapping earlier, like I really was just off of my own money, just kind of like building a company. I knew like, all right, if I spent money on this, I can make it back doing this, right? And I think that's a lot of our approach. You know what I mean? When she was talking about how people start up businesses, a lot of the stuff be on just on our own savings and stuff like that. We don't really have the luxury of starting a company with credit. A lot of people, we don't really have the luxury to start a business with credit or some startup capital where we can afford to go months and months and months without being in the green. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these big companies that you see, they be in the red for years before they turn profit. You know what I mean? It's a luxury that we're not afforded as small business owner. And a reason for that is because we're not exposed to spaces like this one. And it's another thing to go back to what I'm saying is, as far as Harrisburg, I've been in other cities where there's people like at least doing, you know what I mean, doing the work, organizing people. How else would you find April or these guys, you know what I mean, without space like this? You know what I mean? Like, it's really on us, well, on y'all, to make yourselves visible. You know what I mean? To make yourself accessible. And that's something that we're lacking as far as organization. You get what I'm saying? Not even organization, but technology too. Like, there's people who, just like I was untapped. Like, I was a bag of money that was just waiting to be, you know what I mean? As soon as somebody brought me into the studio, I made them $100,000. They got to keep the other, you know what I mean, the other half, that type of thing. But until then, like, I was just, you know what I mean, untapped potential. A lot of us are untapped potential. We've got great ideas, you know what I mean, brilliant ideas. And if we had the luxury of some startup capital, you know what I mean, we could really actualize our visions and really, you know what I mean, change the world. But we're kind of stuck at that step one type of thing. And then before, at least, I don't know if there was people in a position doing that same type of work, but you know what I mean, if you had a small business and you're looking for a community and you don't find your place, you could be discouraged. You get what I'm saying? And when you go to other places like New York or Atlanta, you kind of see people already in this space. So it makes these destinations very lucrative. You get what I'm saying? But it's really important for us to have these type of spaces where people can come and make people aware of opportunities. Because like me, like I ain't never had a handout like doing business. When I started my company, like it was just me and my money, the people that I knew. Like, your network is for real, your network. You know what I mean? Like, I really didn't realize that until I got into business. You know what I mean? I got out of my hustling mindset and I really like started connecting with people. It was people like Elise and spaces like this that exposed me to outside funding. You know what I mean? That kind of like changed the course of my business, changed the course of the theory of my business and my direction, where I started thinking about more than just like making a flip and like, yo, how can I get more people involved in this idea to create more opportunities, to create more, you know what I mean, more emotion, you know what I mean, and awareness to the things I was trying to do, you know what I mean. So I want to just praise Elise and the space that she created, and the people up here that are, you know what I mean, that are really like, you know what I mean, trying to put y'all on. You get what I'm saying? Like, it makes it like the same way my potential is untapped. This type of space is untapped. You know what I mean? Like, not enough creators, small business owners are taking advantage of outside funding opportunities just because they don't know no better. They haven't been exposed to spaces like this. You get what I'm saying? So, big ups to you guys for being here. And like, yo, once you realize, you ain't got to do this shit on your own, and there's people in positions that can help you out and can grow your business, man. The sky's the limit. I wasn't, you know, being in spaces like this exposed me to grants and stuff. I've already gotten grants just being a part of her space. You know what I mean? Something that I had never, somebody just giving me free money from my company was a foreign idea to me. You know what I'm saying? It was far-fetched. Even getting a loan, like I was familiar with loans because I had been to college. You know what I mean? So he's talking about debt-based. A lot of people had that experience, right? But there's also funds in place that just go unused. You know what I mean? There's organizations who get funding from the government, and they're looking for people like you to responsibly use these funds to stimulate the economy, the local economy, and it just, you know what I mean? It just goes untapped because we're just not aware. You know what I mean? So that's some work that we have to do as far as creating awareness, getting more people on board, and then like, you know what I mean? Just helping each other out. But yeah. We're moving in the right direction.
Word, and that's exciting. There is a lot of things. I think this year so far, or the last 12 months rather, I've helped a handful of people secure funding through grants that I actually, looking pictures, like we were there when we heard about it first. It came up with like this whole proposal on, we have all this money, the Arts Council, we have this money for these artists. And they gave us the pieces of paper, and I remember, this was more of a, like, he was an artist then, I was never been an artist. I remember looking at them, like, Miss Rafika was there, and I remember being like, well, if you can't use it, well, no one can then, I guess, and we, like, passed it up. But fast forward to more recently, someone from the Foundation for Enhancing Communities actually reached out to me and said, at least, like, this does relate to what you're doing and the businesses that you're working with. She showed up, she walked us through it, used her own words to tell us what her big, wordy website was saying, and like at least 8 people got the 2K. So shout out to everyone who has been getting funding, who has been asking for the help, who has been showing up. That's our goal, is for us all to get to the bag. And I think that one of the people have alluded to it, but a lot of questions I get are, what about grants? What do I say in the grants? Where are the grants? What are they for? Well, I'm not a teacher. I don't have education. Well, you can make it up. You can add a new program in where you partner with YPOC and you're getting students in to be the help that you say you need so bad. They're putting in 5 hours here. You just got to think about it creatively. And when we look at things like this, right, these terms that stick out, socioeconomic, education, health, incarceration, and hate crimes, if you can creatively think of a way that your business interrelates with any of these buckets, these are the buckets that cities, state, counties are putting their money into. They're earmarking their dollars as health. Okay, well, is art, health, and wellness? Could you somehow put a spin on it in your business plan, add some extra words in there, switch some words out for health instead this time? Next grant, switch out health for education, right? Like, partner with somebody else. Yo, it's really that simple. Like, we get to these websites and we get confused and we turn it off. We say, oh, this must not be for us. They don't want us to have this. They don't want us to have that. But it's literally just someone translating certain things for us. So I know we're winding down time here. I've asked a few of my questions. I can't say enough how resourceful these people are uniquely dispositioned to be for us. Individually, like me, myself, but also you too. So I want to give you the opportunity to ask questions. whether you think someone here has the answer or not, don't let that be the reason you don't ask the question. But please, if do we have any questions, burning questions that someone wants to interject right now? Sean or Hattie?
I don't have a question. I have more of a comment for those in the room. So I really want to speak to what beautiful April had talked about and working with the DISPOs, the Girl Diversity, Inclusion, Small Business Opportunity.
Because don't you work there?
I do. I wasn't going to put that out there, but but I really just wanted to talk about some of the things that we're going to be doing in the future in providing more visibility for Black-owned businesses more specifically. But there's so much money out here that everyone was talking about, contracting opportunities. So if you're in IT, professional design, construction, any type of supplier services, photographer, vendors, like the new governor is wanting to spend so much money. And so within our bureau, we're really trying to help people to get access to capital, to learn how to do business with the Commonwealth, but also like to make sure that you're registered with the state first, but then come over to our bureau so you can become certified, because there's so many opportunities for everybody to get money. I'm my own entrepreneur, and I plan on getting certified because I'm like, I need all the coins so I can get up out of here in the state. But but I just think it's so important because we don't have that 6th degree that April was talking about earlier. You know what I mean? Especially with government money, because that type of money is long lasting. If you give it the right people with the right agency and you have those right connections. So please get registered with the state first of all, and then come over to us. You can ask for me, but I'm going to send you to our certification department. Because I do compliance. So I make sure that Black-owned businesses, not just Black-owned, but LGBT, women, veterans, like those are the people who we're really trying to work with and make sure that you all have access to capital. But we're looking to increase our database, but we're also looking for you all to get your money, to make sure that the government agencies know the plethora of people who have talent, skills, and expertise in a lot of areas. And so I know that we're going to be connecting with the Black Caucus on several things. We're going to be having some Commonwealth connections with the DISPO, so where you'll learn multiple avenues on how to do that as well. So didn't want to take the shine from anybody, but I just want to encourage you all to just become, be a part, get some of this government money because it is out there and it is a lot. So thank you. So it's with the Bureau of Diversity and Inclusion and Small Business Opportunities. I'll just give everybody my phone number.
Wait, give them the website.
I'll give you the website. I may not do that. I'll give you the website because on the website it has a lot of the small diverse businesses resources. It talks about how to become a vendor, contracting opportunities. So it's www.dgs.pa.gov. Yeah, absolutely. It's www.dgs, so D as in dog, G as in gather, and S as in service. .pa.gov. So please become registered with the state and become a certified business. I can't even tell you the amount of money in contracts that I look over and I'm like, this money is going to waste. I mean, like, not to put nobody's business out there, but I'm overseeing like an $800 billion contract.
Do you need a business plan to get certified?
No. You just need EIN number.
What does it mean to be certified?
So
that was my question. The simple answer.
You opened up the door when you turned the microphone, sis.
I was just trying to provide some resources. I'm trying to be resourceful.
Yeah, I'll chime in. This a real quick blurb. It basically is to prove who you are.
Yes.
That's basically just to prove who you
Oh,
are.
okay.
So a lot of
So it's
times,
not like what she's saying with like a business plan or any of that.
no, to
You're
get
just
certified, you're basically
certifying that
certifying
you
who
are-
you are. If you're black, if you're minority, if you're women-owned, etc. You're just proving who
I just
you
send
are.
like a picture of myself, like with the.
Yeah, ask for your IDs.
Yeah.
You gotta prove who you are.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they'll also ask for like the utilities.
Yeah. Tax information, bank account, all that stuff. They basically want to verify everything. It's the same thing as when you set up a business.
So not a business plan, but all that other stuff.
All that other stuff, but also too, there is what we call a small business reserve, where there is a certain amount of money that is allocated for small business and small diverse businesses. So where certain businesses, they want to, because it's also a tax incentive for them in order to work with you. And so, once again, just reach out to us. You can tell them that we sent you. I'm gonna definitely send you a certification department. But please become certified. It's not that you will be guaranteed opportunities, but you'll get access to learning about certain biddings, those type of things. So we have Dirty Dog, Leland Nelson. He's a certified business owner, and he takes like demolition stuff with trucks and just dump them, right? Bukus of money. But just doing that type of services on contracts that last either from 3 to 4 years. So like not just with government, but also medical. So we're doing with Highmark, UPMC.
You're saying there's a contract.
Yes.
So that means they have to pay you either way?
Oh, they will pay you. Yep, they will pay you.
Guaranteed money.
That's what I'm saying. So when you
That's
get
what I
with the
mean,
government, it is guaranteed money because they have to pay you on at a certain time with a certain amount of money. So you get like a percentage and those things that are committed to you through that entire contract. So if you're a cleaning service, let's say their commitment percentage is 0.01%. That's $100,000, right? That's going to be divided out to just your business, whatever amount of that contract is. Over that period of time. So if it's 4 years, so within that 4 years, guaranteed you're gonna have about $100,000. But if you just can't, you can apply to just that contract. You can apply to multiple to multiple contracts. Whatever your codes are as a vendor. So if it's consulting, once you become registered with the state. So come register with the state first, then you become certified. So we are going to be doing our own summit in October, so you'll learn more about this too. But just get in contact with me. Go to our website, and it'll walk you through. It is very wordy, so if you don't feel like reading, just give me a call, and I'll help you walk through everything. Because it's too much.
I want to say something real quick.
I'm reachable with it. I'm a Tia Daddy B on Instagram. It's totally different from that. So reach out to us. Our number is on there. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take over. I was really just trying to get something.
I wanted to say something real quick. Now, also on the federal side, say if you're looking for federal contractor, you can be a federal contractor. You can register GSA, and I think GSA, right? So with that, you have to be in business 2 years, and you only have to make $25,000 within those 2 years. So, give you an example. I had a couple partners of mine. They wanted to do this a couple years ago. They wanted to get in transportation. So since Pennsylvania, Harrisburg is the #1 hub for transportation in the country. Harrisburg #1, Chicago 2, and 3. The minimum average they would make per year would be $2.3 million. That's the minimum average. So we got to think about that. So it's something to think about. And on that number, the list was very low. I think for the state of Pennsylvania, it was only like 100, and like at that time, it was only like 140 some odd people on that list. It's very, very low list because a lot of people don't meet the criteria and so forth to actually become like contracting for federal. So it's you get access to basically 600 agencies plus. So that's something to think about too if you want to get into contracting on the federal side.
Yeah, that's another reason why you should join the Black app for CEOs. Subscribe today. We have a ton of events and workshops. These are the people you'll get connected with. The information that will be at your fingertips that you've been saying you've been searching for. For example, there's a certified workshop coming up this month, the 24th. It is a partnership with African American Chamber. Leland was mentioned, Dirty Dogs. They do these periodically. I get so many questions about certification, and it is a big revenue stream. It's a big bag that I'm hoping isn't antiquated. The process of getting certified, it really hasn't been seen across the board and applied in ways that weren't super black and white, like construction and dumping and things in that space. But you can be a photographer and get certified and get the bag. You know what I mean? You can be a web developer, get certified, and get the bag. You can have venues like this, be an event planner, and get certified and get the bag. Like it's not so cut and dry. So different ways to think about generating revenue for your business, specifically as a black person, specifically as a woman-owned entity, as a smaller business, as a newer business. It's a unique journey for us. And these folks have seen the other businesses and the path they've taken, the ones that were successful, the ones that weren't. At the end of the day, 8 out of 10 businesses fail, and they fail fast. 8 out of 10 businesses will fail in their first year. 8 out of 10 businesses will start and fail within 12 months. So it isn't just us that it's hard for. It's across the board. But that being said, there's still a lot of different ways to go about it. So, any other questions before? Okay, yes, questions are coming. Can you shout for me? What's your question? You want to stand up?
Sure. I just wanted to say I initially just got on to, I wanted to vend the Juneteenth event. I'm a vegan chef. And I appreciate the email that came back to me. I just literally was signing up to be a vendor, and I got all this information about all of this. Just if there's any like new beginner entrepreneurs here, and a word of advice that was given to me, like I got my LLC I think 2 years ago now, and it's the small crumbs literally that you have to follow that adds up. Like you might see slavery, like for me, for example, I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to go, but something told me just go. Do you know what I mean? And I'm so glad I did, because each meeting, each gathering, each networking event, like it all adds up to ultimately what you want. You know what I mean? Being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, it's frustrating, it's time consuming, but if it's your baby, if it's something that you truly believe in, like just keep at it. All of these things just add up, and I'm really appreciative for that. You know, it came back to me because now I feel like this just opened up a whole nother,
I'm so glad.
a whole nother thing for me. So that's all I wanted to say.
If I'm inviting y'all, show up. If I'm inviting you, you better come, because it's a reason. Danielle?
Oh, sure. I was gonna say that, but I'm wondering. So I reached out to someone before that knows how to start up CNA schools. That's something that I'm passionate about. I don't see men at fall at Harrisburg unless you're in high school through a tech program or you have to go through a nursing home. I'm wondering what resources or websites or where I can find to like get my CNA program off the board. I am a nurse, and I'm also a CPR instructor through American Heart Association. And my vision is just to just make even people of color, specifically working in the hospitals as PCAs, just honing in on the importance of job security as a CNA, and just education, just in general for Black people. So I was just wondering, I've been like asking around, but no one really has any answers for me. So
We need to talk.
okay.
Flat out. We need to talk. A lot of times what we don't know is that there's someone, like we were saying earlier, there's someone that believes in that vision right there. And it's just a matter of talking about it, and the more we talk about it, it'll get in front of the right ears. You know what I'm saying? So I think that when we connect you, once we learn more about everything that you have, then we can then kind of guide you into the space to get you the resources. that you need. But yeah, we need to talk.
Yeah,
I've never
saw
heard anything
someone
like that.
she
That's
said
amazing.
she, you know, she's like in Pennsylvania. She doesn't do it for. She helps other people in other states start up CNA schools, but she said she doesn't offer for Pennsylvania because it's too much red tape and it's too hard, and I don't like that answer. So.
And let's talk. Yeah, let's talk. We'll get into that. I would love to get into that.
Years ago, I had a CNA school, and they were making money hand over fist. I mean, I work for the electronic division, but the CNA school, that was the foundation of their company. They had an electronic school here, a CNA school in Baltimore, and I think also in Atlanta. But the CNA schools were where they were making the real money. So
And that's great. I started at CNA, and now I'm a registered nurse, and I just think it's so important to, you know, just establish that foundation for everyone. And, you know, PCAs work constantly, they don't really understand it. That's not job security, that's not a certification, they need their job, or if the hospital fires them, you're starting from the ground one, you know, and they're not really making enough money to begin with. So, at least getting their foot in the door in healthcare field and CNA, I think it really be like a really good push for the healthcare community specifically.
they're making money now. CNAs are starting to make really, really good income. I'm seeing that. So that's good.
Thank you for asking. Yes, I heard the UPMC diversity and inclusion lead is a black woman named Tina Nixon, so she should be on your lunch and tea list that you leave us with. Any other questions? Yeah, one of you. You two both.
I
Yes.
think mine's really quick. I was just wondering your thoughts on, I hear people talking about, under their business, also creating a 501c3.
Okay.
So, and I mean, I work for a nonprofit organization, but I'm leaving, you know, I am starting a consulting and coaching business. And two of the things that are going with me that I'm gonna be doing are, Black Women Centered Conversations, we're partnering with colleges and high schools. And then also the same thing for, Black men or Black youth. And somebody has said you should think about, you know, getting a nonprofit under that. Now, I know what it's like to work on a nonprofit. I know the politics of that, and which is one of the reasons why I'm leaving. But is it a good idea to
Yes, without a shadow of a doubt. It provides so many tax breaks for you. It provides ways of grants and money that your for-profit may not be in a position, like you were saying earlier, you know, to qualify for some grant funding, you have to be in business for so long, you have to generate so much money. Well, while you're in the process of generating, you can still have a stream of income when it comes to the nonprofit space. So absolutely, I myself, I have a sugar salt scrub company that is also a mental wellness company as well, and my nonprofit is coexists with that. So it's like when you see one, you see the other. So yeah.
Swiss, didn't you start a nonprofit?
Yeah.
But I need tips or tricks.
Um,
Workings, anything?
it's easier than you think. You know what I mean?